They say nobody ever escaped from Alcatraz. But one foggy night in 1962, 3 men simply vanished. This isn't just a prison break. It's the greatest unsolved prison break in American history. A maximum security fortress built to be escape-proof. A team of inmates who shouldn't have even met, let alone planned the impossible. And a getaway so perfectly timed, it defied the most guarded rock in the Pacific. 60 years later, no bodies, no arrests, and not a single confirmed sighting. Just questions, cover-ups, and a trail of eerie clues stretching from California to Brazil. Stick around, because this one still haunts the waves of San Francisco Bay. Alcatraz wasn't built for second chances. It was built for no chances. Perched like a stone sentinel in San Francisco Bay, the Rock was more fortress than prison. Its walls, 6 feet thick. Its guards, relentless. And its message? Crystal clear. You check in, but you don't check out. Every inmate was locked in solitary confinement every night. Every escape plan faced miles of icy water, wicked currents, and shark-infested myths. This wasn't just hard time, it was hopeless time. Only the most dangerous, the most cunning, the most troublesome ended up here. And in 1962, 4 of them were placed in cells side by side. A decision that would go down as the worst miscalculation in prison history. Frank Morris wasn't just another con. He was a ghost in the system. A man too clever to cage, too quiet to trust. IQ of 133. A professional escape artist. And by all accounts, calm, calculating, cold. Then there were John and Clarence Anglin, 2 Florida boys born poor and fearless. Raised swimming in frigid canals, robbing banks with toy guns, and slipping through prison fences like fish through nets. And finally, Alan West. Not the brains, not the brawn, but something worse, the handyman, the guy with access, the guy who knew things. Together, these 4 men didn't just plan an escape. They built a machine, one piece at a time, under the noses of the toughest guards in America. And they did it, for 6 months straight. They started with spoons, sharpened mess hall cutlery turned chisels, bits of saw blades scavenged from the prison shop, a homemade drill made from a vacuum cleaner motor, no joke. Every night, while Morris played his accordion to drown the noise, they chipped away at the vent holes behind their sinks. Cardboard grates, plastered with paint and spit, covered the damage during inspections. Behind those vents, an unguarded utility corridor, dark, dusty, and full of promise. There, hidden in the shadows of the upper level, they built their escape. A raft, stitched from over 50 raincoats. Life vests, modeled after a popular mechanics article. Dummy heads, complete with real human hair and flesh-tone paint, swiped from the prison workshop. This wasn't an escape. This was engineering. 9:30 p.m. lights out. The prison sleeps. But Morris, the Anglin brothers, they don't. They slip through those vent holes into the darkness, drag their raft and gear up the pipes, pop a fake bolt on the roof shaft, slide down a 50-foot pipe on the outside of the building. 2 fences, 12 feet tall, barbed wire. No spotlights, no alarms, no guards. By midnight, they're on the shoreline. The raft inflates, thanks to a modified accordion. The tide turns, and then silence. They paddle into the black, toward Angel Island, and into legend. Only Alan West is left behind, trapped too late, watching the dream vanish without him. The next morning, 7:15 a.m., a guard pushes Morris's shoulder. It rolls, cracks open. Not a man, a mask. Chaos erupts. Sirens scream across the island. The warden calls the FBI. And for the first time in its history, Alcatraz admits it. Somebody got out. Inside their cells, dummy heads, painted grins, hair from the barbershop floor. Behind the walls, holes just big enough to crawl through. In the attic, rafts, tools, footprints. The escape path was real, the execution, flawless. But where did they go? The Coast Guard finds a paddle, then a wallet with Anglin family photos. Bits of raincoat rubber wash ashore. A homemade life vest floats to Cronkite Beach. Another pops up just off Alcatraz's east shore. But no bodies, no footprints on the mainland. No stolen cars, no hijacked clothes, no crimes. They vanished. West tells investigators they aimed for Angel Island, then planned to cross into Marin County. But that's the thing, he didn't make it. He didn't see it. And every clue that shows up, it leads to more questions than answers. After 17 years, the FBI closes the case. Their conclusion? Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers died in the attempt. Dragged under by cold water, fast tides, or a failing raft. The evidence? No confirmed sightings, no reported crimes, no support from family, they claimed. And the bay, frigid, unforgiving, with currents that pull bodies straight out to sea. But here's the catch. They never found the bodies, not one. And in the decades since, the case has refused to rest in peace. Some believe they made it. The Anglin brothers? Born swimmers, strong enough to handle the tide. Morris, brilliant enough to time the escape perfectly. A few years later, mysterious roses show up at the Anglin mother's grave. Unmarked, always fresh. Then there's the funeral. 2 veiled women, tall, silent, never seen again. A 1975 photograph surfaces, allegedly taken in Brazil. 2 men, weathered, sunburned, standing by termite mounds. Facial recognition says it's highly likely to be one of the Anglin brothers. The other, unconfirmed. And in 2013, a letter arrives. My name is John Anglin. We made it that night. I'm 83 now. I'm dying of cancer. He offers a deal, medical help in exchange for surrender. The FBI tests the letter. No match. Still, it's enough to keep the marshals looking. The 1962 escape from Alcatraz wasn't just a jailbreak. It was a crack in the myth of the perfect prison. A blow to the pride of the Bureau of Prisons. 3 men, convicted felons, written off by society, outsmarted America's most secure institution. And maybe, just maybe, they lived to tell the tale. Maybe they farmed in Brazil. Maybe they drank cold beer in Mexico, far from the headlines. Maybe they died in the surf, swallowed whole by the bay. But if they made it, they didn't just escape a prison. They escaped the system. And that's a story the world still isn't ready to close the book on. Some mysteries are solved in time. Others get buried in red tape, fog, and silence. This one still floats just out of reach, like a raft adrift in the night. Keep watching the shorelines, my friends, because if Morris and the Anglins made it, they're still out there. For more unsolved escapes and shadowy truths, subscribe to Chalk and Silence, where the past refuses to stay locked up.